So about 5 years ago, I had just started my fitness journey. I'd never really cared about fitness. I had never lifted weights before, but I started hanging around some friends who were in very good shape, and it inspired me to start weightlifting. It was one of the best decisions I had ever made. Now, one thing you have to understand about me is that for most of my life, I had been pretty overweight, kind of had that skinny fat look, and just wasn't very athletic overall. It was a really exciting time because I had started watching all the YouTube videos. I got this idea of what I wanted to look like, how I wanted to get so much muscle and get jacked and be a bodybuilder, all that really fun stuff that's really exciting when you first start lifting. And I just remember thinking if I could watch enough of these videos or subscribe to enough of these courses that I would find the hidden knowledge, the X factor that would get me to where I wanted to be. And so this led me down a road where I was just trying to do every single little thing, right? So I was trying to completely optimize every single thing, whether it be my diet, my training. I was trying to add like all the science-based stuff into my training, just thinking if I could just find that one thing that would completely transform my physique. Well, as you can imagine, this got really exhausting over time. It just felt like I was dedicating hours and hours to trying to find just the right training techniques, the right diet, finally change my physique. And I would spend so much brain power throughout the week that by the time that I got to the weekend, I was so burnt out. I just wanted to hang out with my friends, and I would end up binge eating and drinking a bunch of alcohol and completely undoing my progress that I had gained throughout the week. And it felt like a full-time job. It felt like I was putting in all of my time and effort to trying to completely transform my physique, but ultimately I was just spinning my wheels because I was so exhausted that I kept rebounding over and over and over again. And to be honest, it continued like this for, well, years really. And things continued on and on like this until finally I had the breakthrough of realizing that in order to completely change my physique, in order to actually get the physique that I wanted, I didn't need to continue adding more and more onto my process. I actually needed to simplify it. And so once I found the right ways to simplify my fitness journey, it actually ended up completely changing everything. I started getting leaner, I started looking better, I started actually gaining muscle and getting stronger in the gym. And what I noticed is that fitness no longer felt like this full-time job where I was dedicating hours and hours and hours thinking about it. But I had just realized that sometimes when it comes to optimizing, less ends up being more. And so in this video, I'm gonna tell you the laziest way to completely build an amazing body. If I were to just strip back all of the BS and just tell you the key principles that I've learned over the last 5 years and disregard all of the fluff and just tell you the few things that are actually gonna make a difference. So the first thing is, like I just mentioned, number one, less equals more. As I had personally figured out, sometimes creating the best process isn't always about doing the most, but it's just about doing the good stuff and then abstaining from the bad stuff. It's just you do the few things that you need to do to get a good physique, and then you don't do the things that are gonna ruin your progress. And so the first way that we can take advantage of that principle is by simplifying your training in the gym. A lot of guys will go in there thinking that they gotta do chest one day, biceps and triceps one day, shoulders the next day, legs the next day, and then you need to do an accessory day so you can get your traps and your forearms, and it's just this really complicated split. What I'd recommend doing if you want the laziest way to build an amazing body is just go to the gym about 3 times a week for 45 minutes each session. This is gonna give your body plenty of time to recover and build muscle without you having to worry about the fatigue of trying to get in the gym for 3 hours every single day. And I'd recommend just taking advantage of that short 45-minute session, high intensity training, good form, good technique, and ultimately if you just use those 45 minutes to push yourself, you'll gain muscle. And then the next principle I'd recommend would be to follow the 80-20 rule. If you're not familiar, the 80-20 rule basically means that 80% of the time you do the right stuff. So I would apply this to diet in particular, right? 80% of the time you just want to eat clean. And then if you have, occasionally some junk food every once in a while, it's not that big of a deal. But what we don't want to do is overanalyze and overstress our diet. I know how it feels to feel like a freaking astrophysicist trying to calculate your calories every single night and trying to figure out if you have any calories to go get that snack that you want because you're really hungry. It's just that it's really a stressful way to think about it. But what I would do is just say, okay, for most of the time, I'm gonna eat clean. Just for the most part, avoid junk food and eat the foods that you already know you should be eating. And then also just try to increase your overall activity. What I recommend for everyone is just try to get your 10,000 steps in. So it's not like we have to go to the gym and do a bunch of dedicated cardio and think about all this complicated stuff to get lean, but just get up and walk around. Just take your dog for a walk, go for morning strolls, go for evening strolls. Just try to get general activity in your life. That's really what's going to make a big difference. A lot of times people are looking for the magic pill with fitness, but when in reality, it just comes down to doing the little things that matter over and over and over again. And one of those things that matter is just movement and finding ways in your life to be active. And I have a pretty foolproof formula. I think that if you follow this you're pretty much guaranteed to get a good body in the laziest way possible. And that would be weightlifting plus 10,000 steps a day minus processed food equals an aesthetic body. I don't think it could get any more simple than that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. If you want a deeper dive on the laziest way to get an aesthetic body, the specific foods that I eat every single day, and the specific workouts that I do to maintain a great physique while being pretty lazy about it, then go check out my book that I just wrote called The Aesthetic Protocol. It's in the description down below. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.